Good evening, everyone. It is so glad to have you back with us. I love doing this every month. This is something I really look forward to. And all the exciting guests I have, each month I have a wonderful guest for each segment. And for this segment, I have someone that's very important, not only to me, but to the entire community. And this is Karen Jackson. Karen Jackson of Nye Radio. But we're not going to talk so much about the radio because I want to talk about Karen. So many of you have heard her voice, but you don't know a whole lot about her. And that's where we want to go today. I want to tell you some of the things that she's doing in the community. There's a lot of things that you know about her, some assumptions that have been made. And we want to go ahead and clarify and make sure that you know who this person really is. She's wonderful. I can't say enough nice things about her. So I'm going to just say, Karen, welcome to the show.
Well, good evening, Tom. Thank you for having me.
I've wanted you on this show for such a long time because I got a chance to know you after I got here. And I got a chance to find out some of the things about you and how you interact in the community. But I really want the audience to know, who is Karen Jackson? So where'd you come from and how did you get to Pahrump? Let's start with that.
I came from the San Diego area.
California.
Mm-hmm, California. Okay. I was tired of the traffic.
I can imagine that.
And
okay.
I was in print media sales, so I had deadlines to make. And one time I was coming home on a Friday night, I'm stuck in traffic. They're calling me to say, where are you? And I said, oh, send a helicopter because it's not happening. I got home and I had looked at Pahrump 35 years prior.
Okay.
It was cotton fields and mobile homes.
Did you actually come through Pahrump?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came and looked at Pahrump.
Okay.
And I came home and I was so frustrated. I went on the computer and looked up Pahrump.
Okay.
And I said, oh my God, it's grown, it's got stick-built houses. This is nice. I call a realtor and I said, I'll be there Sunday. I came over Sunday. I put a bid on a house that I never went into.
Oh.
When we drove up in the driveway, I knew that was my house.
Okay.
Made a bid. I promised a 30-day escrow. Went home, sold my house, gave 30 days notice at my job, and then I was here.
Wait a minute. You came and put a bid on a house, went back and quit your job, and you obviously had a job already lined up in Pahrump.
No.
Nothing lined up?
No, and I didn't know anybody either.
Oh.
And I bought this big, expensive house, and all my friends were threatening to commit me.
Oh, me, I can imagine.
Yeah, in fact, when I got here, I didn't work for 7 months.
I would have never imagined that.
No,
oh,
I didn't work for 7 months.
Okay.
I was decorating my house.
Okay.
I got up one morning and there was nothing to do, so I took all the clothes out of my closet, washed them and ironed them, and I said, oh, no, I need to go get a job. So Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza was opening.
Okay.
And I'd never sold a car in my life.
Oh, man.
But they hired me.
What year was this?
2003.
Okay.
And I think PV Auto opened 2004 because I didn't work. I got here in October and I didn't work for 7 months. So
okay.
It was 2004. So they hired me, never sold a car, and I was the top salesperson.
Oh, great.
And that's how I met Ramona Bell.
Okay, and Ramona Bell is?
Art Bell's wife.
Okay, and we're gonna talk about Art Bell in a minute. Okay.
They own KNYE Radio. I was doing the commercials for PV Auto.
Okay.
And then in 2005, Ramona suddenly died of asthma. I had never met Art. I had talked to him on the phone because I had heard a rumor he was dead. And
oh, gee.
So Ramona called him and said, Karen wants to ask you something. I said, I guess you're not dead. So But after Ramona passed, I wanted to go to her funeral, and you, of course, had to be on the list.
Okay.
So I called Art, and of course, he put me on the list. That is the first time I met Art Bell face to face.
Okay.
And when I got to the funeral, he walked up and said, "You must be Karen," and I said, "You must be Art." And he took my hand, and he did not let go through the whole funeral. And then afterwards, we went, you know, you do the tea and crumpets afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
So I went to that, and he met me at my car. He took my hand, and he didn't let go. And that's when he said, "I need you to manage my radio station." And I said, "You know, today's not a good day. You know, let the dust settle." So I went on about my life, and a couple of weeks later, it was about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Because Art's a night owl. He called, and he said, "Are you going to do this or not?" And I said, "Well, you have an ad running on the radio." He said, "That's plan B."
Okay.
So the next day I went and met with him, and I really didn't have any choice. When Art picks you, you don't have any choice. It was just the way that it was.
Oh, me. Well, I want to get to that because, you know, I arrived in Pahrump in, I guess, '04 when I first looked at Pahrump, and then we decided to buy a house in '05. That was finished in '06, and we were still in Germany until '08. So, but I didn't know that much about Pahrump. And so we got here in '08, but I had friends back in Chicago and other parts of the world and the country. And one of my friends said, you live in Pahrump.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, yes. And, you know, how have you heard about Pahrump? He said, well, you must know Art Bell. And I said, who is Art Bell? So you're telling us already how you met Art Bell. So tell us some of what made Art Bell famous.
Well, Art Bell has been in radio probably 50 years. He was a disc jockey.
Okay.
And then he was doing political show type thing. And in fact, what is really funny, he worked in Oceanside at KUDE Radio. I lived at the top of the hill, and the radio station was right at the bottom.
Oh, gee, okay.
Yeah. So it was at that point he wanted to get into something different. That's when he started the, you know, Area 51, all the,
Okay.
you know, eerie stuff. And it put him on the map.
All over the world.
He is probably the most well-known radio person in the world.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
And because I heard about Art Bell from my friends around the country, and the fact that I should have known him, and to this day, I've never met Art Bell. However, I've heard so much about him, and I've heard a lot of it from you. So
yeah, he's quite a trickster. You know, there was a rumor after Ramona passed away.
Okay.
Because Art was very, very lonely, and he was quite depressed for obvious reasons. So we would go out to eat a lot. And you know, it was, there's Art's girl, you know, and nothing could have been further from the truth. Actually, we are like brother and sister. We fight like brother and sister. It's just the way that we are.
Okay.
But that was a big rumor that was going around, and I actually found it quite amusing. But it was going around, you know, Pahrump.
Okay. And that'll happen. Okay, so that's Art Bell, and then you got into some other things, but I know you gave us some of your background, but tell us more of your background.
You know, a lot of people think that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Yes?
No, I came from a very poor background.
Oh, me. Okay.
My mother died when I was 13. I had to raise my 3 sisters, which were 7, 6, and 4.
So you're like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The good news is I never had to take a book home in school. I have one of those memories.
Oh. Okay.
People that know me, they say if I forget something, it's because I wanted to. And I did graduate on the honor roll.
Okay.
After I was already working at a bank after school when I was in high school, and when I graduated, they offered me a full-time job.
Okay.
I came up in banking where it was a man's world, and if you were a female working in the bank, they didn't need to pay you very much because you were just there till you married somebody that was going to take care of you.
Yes.
Well, see, that wasn't quite my goal. So I basically was one of the few that broke the glass ceiling in the banking industry. I was the first operations officer. I was the first senior vice president. I mean,
Beautiful. Okay.
I broke the glass ceiling in banking in San Diego. So then I left banking because I told the president the only way I would get any higher in the company is if he died, and I didn't kind of wish that on him. So I decided to go do something else, and I went and worked for the Penny Saver as an outside sales rep selling print media.
So that's the print media side, and that's when you were in traffic and decided you had enough of the traffic.
I'd had enough.
Okay. So banking, print media.
I did work in a tranny shop for a while.
A what?
A tranny shop, transmission shop.
Oh.
My dad was a mechanic, and when I was growing up, honest to God, I could do a tune-up before I could fry an egg.
Oh, me. Okay.
And it has served me well. Not now, with everything being computerized. Right now, I can't even find the dipstick on my car, but back then, I could do my own tune-ups.
Okay. So when you got into selling cars, then that helped, having that background.
Well, yeah, I did, because I've always been a car person. Always, always, always. Still am.
So we're there. Okay. So we know that you know Art Bell, famous guy. And Karen,
see, he's not famous to me.
Well, I was just going to say, Karen Jackson, who is a famous person.
No.
And you say she's not famous.
No, from the get-go, Art was not famous to me.
Oh, okay.
He was just Art. I mean, seriously, he was just Art.
Well, I can say this to everybody. She's never just been Karen. Now, we're gonna go into the next session, so come back and join us.